Right, Alan Hurd actually said everything I wanted to say. The title of my presentation is the e-guide project. In college here we were lucky enough to get funded by JISC, the Joint Information Systems Committee, to run a year-long project which finished in December on developing ways to develop digital literacy. So I shouldn't have looked back behind me because you're all looking there and I'm thinking, what are you looking at? That's the one, excellent. So we were funded through the JISC for the teaching, learning and teaching innovation grants for Swanee, which is Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. And it was money specifically geared to FE colleges. And in a way, it was very similar to Alan's, he's gone now, but similar in the sense of it was about working with students to be, I think, digital leaders, Alan said. We chose the term e-guide. I'm just going to run through the quick presentation that we do with student groups, and then I'll come back to explain how we've structured the e-guide project. So with a student group, this is a whole class studying a particular subject. This is trying to explain to them what digital literacy means, and we take from the very beginning, and I'll touch on history again in my 2-minute presentation. It all dovetails together so neatly. It was actually a complete chance. Okay, so we make the point that humans are compulsive communicators. Even before language, people communicated by drawing. When writing came, it was only for the upper echelons of society. Only if you were rich or famous or powerful would you be able to read and write. A couple of hundred years ago, does anybody know the date when public schooling started? 1830, 1840-ish? That's when the plebs, people like you, sorry, no, it says here people like you and me. Yeah. That's when literacy started. So, 200 years ago, public schooling, children were taught to read, to write, and to add up, to be literate and numerate. But as time went on, the 40s, the days of school textbooks, everything printed on paper, still, the old-fashioned amongst us still use books. But 1980, do you remember seeing Encarta anymore? Anybody's got a copy of Encarta? It came, it flourished and it went, apart from in 2 places in North Wales. And then in 1998, internet, 98 specifically Google. It is that recent. You forget how recent Google is because it's just here all the time. But literacy becomes digital. All that digital information, we're massively surrounded by it. It's like drinking from a fire hydrant or a hose. There is so much information that you need the skills to be able to control that flow of information and use it successfully. That's where we came in with the e-guides, the idea that one person in a course group would be, we would identify that person and we would help make sure that their skills were as good as they thought they were. Students and teachers often overestimate their skills. And the brief for the e-guide was to not necessarily teach the others, but provide help for the students in the class, but more often than not, be a signpost to say to the students in their class, this is where you can find the answer to your question. This is where you can find a handout of how to do something digitally. There are many definitions of digital literacy, and we took those to be the major topics, and within each of those areas, perhaps 4 skills. When we first started to look, we had this huge skill set, and we whittled it down bit by bit. And so, while there's only 20-odd skills, perhaps, in the program, in the project that we did, we tried to focus on the essential digital skills that students need to be in our college, to study in Llandrillo. To help them do that, we had an online portal called TARDIS, Tools and Resources for a Digital Society, and in there, all the handouts they need on how to do all the things they need as a digital student are there that they can get to. And one of the e-guide's jobs is to signpost those resources. The library team is there both as one-to-one backup. Anybody can come into the library and ask questions. Library and learning technology go together now in this college. They're also there to provide drop-in sessions and training. And that would be the end of the presentation for the student groups. Just let me quickly hand round. How many minutes have I got? I've got 6 minutes left.
No, 1.
Oh, 1. It's always worth a try. There's a handout here. If you take a copy and pass on. Just the first sheet on the handout is basically an overview for a student group. Page 2 of the handout is the major topics in our digital literacy and the skills that come off those. We talk about core skills and further skills, but they're all still essential stuff. And then page 3 is how the components of this project fit together. We have a peer e-guide at the top left. And we support them using an e-guide portal. We train them to make sure that their skills are as good as they think they are, that they know where all the online resources are. We have an audit that they can self-assess their skills and leads into a booking system where the students can book the training that we're providing. We put the training sessions in, the audit flags up for them which sessions they need to go to. The library staff and TARDIS then support the students who might not come to the training, might want to do it themselves. So that's a 1-year project. There's a hyperlink at the bottom of that page. If you wanted to go to the GISC website where you can see some of the other SWANEE innovation grant. I don't know if Matt Smith is still watching, but he's not. Oh. See you, Matt. Matt in South Wales has done SWANEE bit as well. Different approach. I'm not sure what our staff would have thought if we set out the students to teach them. We avoided that issue. So we're getting students to support students because students listen to each other. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.